Hello, boys. Happy Friday to you both. Happy Friday.
Happy
All right.
Friday.
Who was I
Happy
talking
Friday,
about
folks.
who was a little bit upset about Novak Djokovic?
There's an enormous contingent of
I
us
can't
who
hear,
are
Rafa.
team. There's a big contingent of us
it's
who are
my end.
team.
There we go.
And I think we all feel similarly that he was in control in that third set. He got the break. He probably should have been up 2 breaks. You know, the opportunities were there to break the previous service game for Djokovic. Djokovic clearly wasn't really into it mentally today. He did not have his best game. He made a lot of very poor on first errors in the first set. And if team clinches that third set, the match is all but his. The time was there to get back out there and finish that third set. But bizarrely, with the rain interruption right at the end of team breaking Djokovic's serve, Djokovic picked up his rackets, ran off the court faster than you could even see the umpires say, this is we're going to suspend the match for now, and he was gone. Not only did he leave the court, he left the venue. This is unprecedented to leave before the officials have made a determination about whether they're going to resume play or not. He effectively made the decision for them by taking it upon himself to leave and put them on the spot to either DQ him or postpone it till tomorrow. And Roland Garros being the and this is not a broad attack against all the French, but they pulled a real French move here. Succumbing to Djokovic's wishes and postponing the match until tomorrow. And so, by my calculations, it effectively helps Djokovic's win probability by somewhere between 10 to 15%, having not had to finish the third set today, which is very frustrating for those of us who are team. Who wanted to see him get to the finals and have a full day of rest so he could give Rafa the business on Sunday.
Yeah.
But now he's going to have to do it now Saturday and Sunday. And, I'm curious what Snize has to say about this, but I know that Snize and I we're in the same boat here, pulling for team.
Yeah. Well, he's
it's very frustrating.
1.73 right now, if my odds are correct. What happened though, Snize? Like, did he leave before even the umpire called rain, or so he just left and the umpire was like, okay, we'll call rain?
Well, first of all, just happy Friday to you guys. I actually had to go and take a quick shower just to cool down because this stuff had me fuming. I was furious. So based on my understanding here, Djokovic was obviously, as Whale said, he was not having his best game. He was not having a day. Team was pressuring him, moving him around the court. He was making a lot of errors, noticeably very, very, very tilted at the wind blowing in as it did, which was a huge factor in today's games. And when team broke him, officials didn't even suspend the game or anything. He just ran off the court. He didn't even consult with the official. So basically, he just ran out the court, and based on the information I have, he supposedly left the venue before they actually postponed the match, which is absolutely ridiculous. So I really hope. I mean, obviously, he should be a walkover. He should be losing this match, but I don't see it happening. It's just a power move by Djokovic. It really goes to show how much influence
this isn't like regular behavior, is it, from Novak Djokovic?
No.
He's a pretty powerful guy. He has a lot of political power in the tennis community in general because of his stature with the Players' Council. In the same way that Serena Williams gets away with a lot on the women's side of things, Djokovic and Federer, for that matter, get away with a lot on the men's side of things. And so it's when you're that powerful of a figure in the sport and you can kind of dictate how things go, this sort of thing happens. Djokovic in general is not known for these types of antics generally, but this was very tactical in my opinion. No one has the power to do anything about it, which is frustrating.
Yeah, I can imagine. So as far as the match goes, obviously you'd already placed your bets, but are you betting on anything different now? Because Novak Djokovic is the very marginal underdog, But do you think because of this break here that actually gives him an advantage, and he could beat Thiem?
So my personal feelings are Thiem's going to have a very, very tough hold when they resume. And it all kind of comes down to whether he was able to kind of be sharp as he was today, right out of the gate, cold, which is tough, which is a tough ask. If he withstands any early pressure from Djokovic to come back and level things in the third set, then I think Thiem wins in 4-3-1. But I'm not taking any further action until we see how they look on the restart. And Snize made a great point. The wind was an enormous factor today. You absolutely have to be looking at what they're calling for weather-wise tomorrow. If it's more of the same, if it's and really, I'm curious in general how you handicap the weather, Snize.
Yeah. As for the match resumption, I don't have anything additional. I don't have any additional bets. But I think it plays into Thiem's game. It'll be just as windy. I've looked up the forecasts, and Djokovic is obviously hampered by this, both by his baseline hugging game. He often hits the lines, plays with a bit smaller margin than Thiem does, and obviously affects him mentally as well. I don't know what it is, if it's just that he doesn't have time to get set, or what it is that bothers him that much with the wind, but he obviously doesn't like it. So I think Thiem comes out firing. He takes this fourth set. And then if Novak doesn't unravel mentally from there, I think we'll see 5 sets. But if he's not in it tomorrow as well, it's 3-1 Thiem.
Yeah.
But yeah, as to answer the question with the weather, it depends on what kind of weather it is. Obviously, some players are more fit than others. A player such as Dominic Thiem isn't really physically compromised by playing several days back-to-back. He's a physical specimen, one of the fittest guys on tour. Obviously, some weathers like rain affects some players' games more than others. Like, for example, Thiem plays with a heavy topspin. If it rains, that will be hampered, and that would mitigate an advantage he would have had against Djokovic, who likes when the clay courts play a bit more like hard courts. So in general, it's very player specific. You kind of have to know which players react to the adverse weather conditions the best and how it affects their games.
Yeah. Very good. Obviously Nadal to win at the moment is 1.73, and still looking pretty good, I have to say. Basie's going to be well rested. King of the clay entering this one. All right. Okay, let's move over now. The women's finals.
Well,
here.
actually, let me. Can I add something about Nadal in the final? We'll crystal ball a little bit here and say, for the purposes of how to help people kind of make their plays on the men's final. If Djokovic makes a comeback here and prevails, I'm all about Nadal in the final. I think actually it's going to be an overwhelmingly, it's going to be, we're talking like 3-0 beatdown here. And so, if you see a comeback from Djokovic here and he's in any, especially if it's a 5-set comeback from Djokovic, then I'm salivating for them to hang that 3-0 price. The 3-0 price for Nadal against Federer was the play of the tournament. That was an absolute no-brainer. Especially with the way the wind was today. But this 3-0 Nadal will be it'll be an even better price against Djokovic, and I think you're going to have to take a swing at that if we do see Djokovic go through.
Yeah.
If Thiem goes through, on the other hand, the final is going to be war. I cannot wait for it. Obviously, I have a Thiem futures. I have a bunch of Thiem futures at a bunch of nice prices. I'm expecting that if you do see Nadal Thiem in the final, you're going to see a line like Nadal probably -350-ish, something along those lines. And in that case, I'm probably going to have to cover a lot of my exposure and back a little bit of Nadal to win outright before the match starts. But I'm expecting that would be a long match and, quite a battle, really.
Yeah, quite the battle. Do obviously Whale _Capper and Snize master there. Now heading on over to the women's semi-final, and what is rather interesting is we have an unseeded player in the finals, right? Vondrousova. That's how you say it.
Vondrousova.
Versus Barty.
Vondrousova.
what I said. And she was 150
Marketa.
to win the tournament.
Wild.
Were either of you guys on that ticket?
No,
I'm on
our
that
good
ticket.
friend
You
is.
missed
Our good
it.
friend is. Yeah,
You have
I
a
think
friend that is.
going back to the preview show that you guys did where I was in Bora Bora and I had to cut out early. It's nice. You were advocating for Vondrousova at the time, weren't you? Wasn't that one of your looks?
Yeah, it definitely was. Although, as you said,
Ooh.
one of your friends got it even early. I think they got it in early March or something. A great look there at 150 to 1. I got it to 40 to 1, which is still a nice price,
Still
obviously.
amazing, yeah.
So feeling pretty good about that one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's frame this a little bit. You're right, she's unseeded. But this is not unprecedented. She's come up very, very quickly through the junior rankings. She's an extremely talented player. And she kind of had a breakout last year in the run up to the French Open. She plays amazingly well on clay, and she is an extremely confident and dangerous player. Simona Halep got beat by Anisimova, which was a disappointment. Yeah. But I do think that you saw Anisimova, same kind of mentality. Like when you don't know you're not supposed to win, like you can play a little bit looser, a little bit more aggressively, and you're a little bit more dangerous. And I would expect that you don't necessarily see a lot of nerves from Marketa in this final. And I do think that she makes a nice dog price to win outright, even still. Like even if you don't have a futures outright ticket, I think Marketa wins this. I'm probably going to tickle a little Marketa 2-0 as well. That seems like a favorable price because, granted, I love Ash Barty. She made a lot of money for me at the Miami Open. She is a tremendous player. And our friend Snize has the look of Wimbledon. She's got a great price still hanging out there for Wimbledon and grass, which should be a better surface for her even than clay. Granted, Barty, huge career milestone, making her first ever slam final. Yep. Fantastic. Great job. I don't think she has the game to stop Marketa. Marketa is a runaway train at this point. She was able to fight back through some adversity in her match against Konta today. She was able to come back from what looked like the brink of a collapse against Petra Martic in the quarterfinal. So she's got the mental toughness to get it done in the slam final. She's not going to go up 1-0 and then start thinking about the trophy and then have a lapse of judgment and lose her game. I do think that she wins this title. She wins her first ever Grand Slam on clay. And she's going to be around for the foreseeable future. Get to know this young woman because she is quite the player, especially on clay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What do you think there, Snize?
Disagreeing a bit with Whale here, we used to break it down. Barty has been rising as well meteorically throughout the ranking. She actually took time off from tennis a couple of years ago to play cricket, believe it or not. And then she came back and now can become the world number 2 if she wins this title here, which would obviously greatly help her obtain a better seeding for Wimbledon, which, as Whale said, I've gone ahead and placed the future. This is a battle between two players that have extremely varied games. Barty employs a wicked backhand slice, which obviously plays well on the clay, but even better on grass. And she came through a weird game today. She was 5-0, 15-40, 2 set points up against Anisimova in the first set. Completely collapsed from there and lost the first set, 7-6. Then Anisimova ran her over to a 3-0 lead, and Barty actually came back from there. Took second set 6-3, the final set also 6-3, but it was on her 6th match point, and she really, really struggled to close that match out. A clear indication of nerves there. And Vondrousova, she's one of the players whose playing styles reminds me the most of Rafael Nadal. She's got the big lefty topspin, great movement, reads the opponent and the court extremely well. She knows exactly where to place her shots. She works with angles, drop shots, and exquisite lobs. She has everything in her arsenal, so she'll be around for a long time. She's the only player that hasn't dropped a set in the tournament, and she's come from dire straits, like Whale said, against Petra Martic, against Johanna Konta. She trailed 3-5 in both sets, yet still won in straights. But the way I see this, neither player has been in a match of this magnitude. This is both of them their first Grand Slam final. I have seen nerves from both players. especially Vondrousova versus Martic. And I can't see this match being over in a hurry. I think there are a lot of unpredictable twists and turns in this one. Both players play a very solid game. So the look I've gone for here is over 2.5 sets. That's available at 237 or plus 137. And I've also gone ahead and put some dog money on Vondrousova because I think she comes out of this one in a battle. So not hedging outright, I am doubling down. I definitely think that Vondrousova has this.
Oh, so you are both on Vondrousova? Yes. Oh, okay. You're united. And who won the last head-to-head?
Oh, between us or between these two players? I don't think they've ever played each other.
2-0.
What was the last head-to-head we had?
I thought there was on the last show on Wednesday.
I went Djokovic-Finau.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was very lucky by on your part. Zverev had him dead to rights in that first set. Zverev, that guy needs to see a psychiatrist. His head is way too in this in the outcome of these to do anything at the slam level at this point. Very frustrating.
I was counting on the collapse.
All right, so both
you got it. You got it.
Both on Vondrousova. Interesting stuff, and a much better price.
Marketa, let's go.
Are you choosing Marketa because it's easier to say Monketa than the other? It's like sort of Serena. This is just Marketa.
Yes. Williams is very complicated. You just go Serena and you're there.
Way easier. All right.
Exactly.
Marketa it is. There we go.
Yes.
So final play, you're going for the over 2.5 sets, and Whale Capper, what are you going for?
I'm going I'm going head to head on this one, I guess, because I like Vondrousova 2-0. I think that the nerves that you saw from Ash Barty today, those were legit. And I think that ramps up even more, putting her as the favorite into this final. No day to prepare, no day to especially study and understand what Vondrousova is bringing in terms of clay game right now. I do think this is all you can go farther. This is the first of multiple clay titles that Marketa is going to take at Roland Garros on Philippe Chatrier in the first Saturday in June over the next few years. She's really something special.
All right. So this is the third time head-to-head with Snize. Are you worried at all?
Yeah, I don't want to go down 0-3. It's tough to come back when you're down 0-3. And in fact, if it's best of 5, that eliminates me from contention. So let's get a win here. Let's get on the board.
All right.
Start the comeback.
There we go. So obviously this is the final of our French Open coverage. But next week we're looking at the Mercedes Cup and other things on the tennis schedule next week. Yes, we are. We're not just doing grass slams anymore. Yes.
Grass season.
Yes. And also, I don't know if you're around Whale Capper next week. Women's World Cup, second round of bets, because today obviously is the opening. Woohoo! Bring on the Women's World Cup. All right, guys, wonderful stuff.
I got my first Women's World Cup play in action. I'm on both teams to score today in France versus South Korea. Plus 169, 2.69 if you're in the UK or Europe. Should be a pretty competitive match. 2-1, 1-1, 2-2. They all get you there. Plus 169 is a wonderful look in that one.
Do you also bet Women's World Cup, Snize?
I do not, but I will definitely tell you that. That's a huge price.
Out of the woodwork, these Women's World Cup bettors, I have to say. All right. All right, guys, that's Whale Capper and Snize Masters. Great speaking with you. Thank you for your French Open tips, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend, whatever you're doing.